Everybody, it's Tuesdays with Ted, and today we have a special guest as usual, Judith Culp Pearson. Welcome, Judy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I can't remember where we met.
We met via LinkedIn because I really liked a post that you had put up. So I had messaged you and then we connected and chatted on the phone and off we went. So
Great. See, another LinkedIn connection.
another LinkedIn connection. Love it.
Yeah, a lot of people I meet on other webinars or in different groups, but I meet a lot of people on LinkedIn because,
There you go.
gee, it works when you play right.
Exactly. And it's the same way with AI. It works when you play it right.
Right.
If you don't, it's kind of like raising a kid or a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't train it properly, you have a monster on your hands.
Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly.
So tell me about your experience with AI.
Well, like most people, I knew it was there and just hadn't done much research with it. And I thought, this looks pretty interesting. I want to see what's more about it. Did you know it's been around 70 years?
Yeah. I'm doing a presentation tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah. But I think it's as the computer technology got better in the last 70 years, then AI can stack right on top of that. And the potential applications are really fascinating. I mean, when you think what it might do for the medical field in their research,
Yeah.
crunching all those massive numbers and data, I also see it as being beneficial for even people who don't want to, when they get older and they want to stay in their homes. There's a lot of big potentials there. I mean, we're seeing some very primitive stuff, but who wants to go around their life wearing a dongle around their neck so they can call for help?
Right.
But I think that as they start working with the next generations over the next few years, we're going to see some major opportunities and changes.
Yeah. Like you said, you have to train it. It's learning.
It's learning. And so I started out with Chat GPT, and then I've done some experimenting with Bard and with the Microsoft Bing model. And if I'm going to have a conversation with one, I'm working on personal stuff and I want to, get some information or research a trip or whatever, I would probably use Bing because it's tied into the search engine that Microsoft has.
Yeah.
And that way unlike some of the others, it has current data.
Right.
I mean, you ask it a question about something in 2023 and it will come up with an answer that you probably should fact check, but it will come up with an answer for you where the others don't have that access.
Yeah, I just put one in for a class I was doing yesterday, and I put in, tell me about the Golden State Warriors in 2023. And it said, actually, they moved the date up now. It's September 2021 is where the data ends.
Oh, wow.
Or begins, however you look at it.
Right.
Which is a couple years difference.
And 2 years is a lot of difference.
Yeah.
A lot of difference. But once I had explored those, and we know the kind of generic there's a lot of problems that you can get into. In fact, Neil Patel just published this morning. He had a publication on the 7 pitfalls of using AI and what you need, how to use it correctly, which is what we know is you got to be the human in charge of the machine. Or when you try to put content out there, it's going to tank because the search engines are programmed to sniff it out.
Mm-hmm.
And who wants to read those boring things that you can come up with or that the chatbots can come up with?
Right.
I also thought it was really interesting that if you ask it again, it will give you another variation on what it gave you the first time.
Right.
It doesn't really get that you didn't like that or want something different. But I think that when it comes to, there's different ways I see people using AI. One, tools for time management and life management.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a number of different tools. There's freebies and there's paid ones. And I found that because I happen to be a Google fan, that if I use the Google apps for time management and work management, it all integrates really beautifully and makes it simple. Now, if you're a Microsoft person or an Apple person, they have their own sets of tools.
Right.
The biggest thing I think that Microsoft has got a really strong pull in their Bing AI and how they're integrating it, and it's going to show up in all of the Microsoft 365 programs.
Yeah.
They've already started that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to also impact some of the freestanding programs that are trying to be more specialty, because now they're going to be competing with what Microsoft has tucked inside.
And LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, so I'm starting to see more changes on LinkedIn with the AI.
Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see how that does impact what it looks like, how it might function.
Right.
We know this genie is not going to get back in the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It's here. People will say, well, I don't use AI. I don't want anything to do with that. And I'll look at them, and what do they have in their hand? A smartphone.
Right.
Smartphones are built on AI technology. So it's, and if anybody has ever said, Alexa, turn the sound down or turn the lights on, that's AI.
Right.
And Siri does the same thing. So, although I've always had more problems getting really good answers out of Siri.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just see where that might go.
Yeah, this morning one of my friends said that Google turned off the other third-party things. What do you say? The Google Voice, what's it called?
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So all of a sudden he can't access all these other apps. I'm like, well, this is useless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think probably the platform it's living on is going to be Bing's biggest challenge, because there's a lot of people that just don't use the Microsoft platform when they can afford it, because Google is so much friendlier. Chrome is so much friendlier to use. But
yeah, Bing had me download Microsoft Edge browser yesterday.
Yes, it will.
Get better results. Actually, it did, because it's got a lot of the questions built in on the sidebar now. It has a whole different interface.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. But yeah, when it comes to using it for a business tool, as I was out there researching, I realized it's the difference between who you would hire. Do you want a handyman, or do you want a licensed plumber or electrician?
Right.
They do different work. And your Chat GPT, Bard, and Bing's Chat, those are handymen.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get you some stuff done, and you can get a little boost and get some ideas flowing faster, and those are good things. But if you are a marketer or a writer, you may want a more specialized tool that pays attention to your needs and helps you control some of the harness is probably a good word, helps you harness that AI in order to get the results you want better.
Right.
And in the guidebook that I created, I actually reviewed about 10 different software tools in there that could be used for writers and marketers based on some of the news and the latest findings that are how they're stacking up. But it's I didn't dwell on the big generics because those are the ones that everybody kind of knows about a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
It's like every day I keep hearing like not just one new tool. It's like I find 3 or 4 or 5 new tools. Like,
exactly. Exactly. So the biggest thing we want to do, there's a couple things we need to learn to be effective with it. And you probably already know these. Number one is your prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that same garbage in, garbage out. If you don't ask it a question in the right way, you're not going to get the results that you want.
Right.
Now, what I found is in a lot of the specialty tools that were designed for writers and creating stuff, you ask it, you give it a command, and then in the next box, you put the command in context.
Right.
So that allows you to get a closer to what you want. Most of them give you can say write 10 headlines, and it'll write 10 headlines, and you can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
The one I found that's a little bit different is something called Ink, I-N-K.
Mm-hmm.
And in Ink, it would, if I asked it to write me 10 headlines, it would do 3 versions. So you would actually get 30 headlines to look at and sort through, and you can say, no, you're way off base, or this is better. And then you can go from there. But that is one program that I worked with that makes it very clear. This is not, you can't turn this thing loose and get what you want. You have to come back as the human and add the emotion, add the empathy, and change the wording and make it more human.
Right.
So, and it's even, a lot of these even come with built-in AI detectors.
Mm-hmm.
And plagiarism hunters and SEO aspects, which that really speeds up the writing if you're a marketer.
Right.
Because you can put in your search engines or you can put in your keywords and what do you want these keywords to do?
Mm-hmm.
And in some of them, you can even build a data bank of the keywords that you want to dominate, and it will help you strategize a plan.
Is that through Ink or a different tool?
That one happens to be in Ink, but I didn't have full access to all of them.
Yeah.
I did try 5 days of Jasper and ended up cut a deal with them so I can have a discount for a couple of months so I can really check it out and compare it to Ink. They're very different in that Ink, they shut down their Chrome portal. They felt that the person got a better experience on the web portal than it did having an extension follow you around. Now, Jasper, which happens to be one of the higher end writing tools, one of the more expensive ones, it has a Chrome extension and it follows you wherever you are. And I was working on an email this morning and it took over and started writing.
Oh, geez.
So you got to watch those. You got to watch those Chrome extensions, or they'll be extending where you don't want them to.
Interesting. I have Jasper. I've been using it for a long time, actually, since it first came out. I haven't tried the Chrome extension, though. I've got so many extensions. It's like, wait.
They do sometimes not play nice together.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will just turn off an extension until I need to use it.
Yeah.
And that will help. But I think that Ink, I can't remember my notes for sure. There's like 40 templates in Jasper, 138 in Ink.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff packed in there. I think the difference is one was maybe coming at it from a writing angle, and the ink came at it from an SEO angle. So
Which is very different.
Very different. And we may find we want to use more than one tool.
Mm-hmm.
So then it just comes down to money management, because they would all love to have you spending a lot of money getting what you need.
Yeah. Those free trials expire, then all of a sudden your credit card gets hit. And
so, it makes it kind of interesting and fascinating when you see where it's going. I think the best way is you need to start with, what do you want it to do?
Mm-hmm.
Because outside of a generalist, if you've got specific things that you're doing constantly that you need it to do, like if you're an email marketer, you would want to get one that's really strong in writing emails.
Right.
If you're a blogger, which I do some blogs, Inc. has a direct link into WordPress.
Ooh.
And when you finish your article, complete with your images and everything, you just move it and it pops up creates a page, and there you go.
Nice.
That makes it really handy. And then it ties in, and we'll double check and make sure your SEO and everything is correct at that end also. So
how much is Inc. compared to
it's about half the price of Jasper.
Okay.
So it's about $50 a month.
Okay.
Which there's do the free one. I'll send you a link. Try the free one.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. And they also have a nice affiliate program, which I noticed Jasper, they'll give you credits.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's some of these, there's actually 2 fees. And I noticed in the Jasper, it's broken into 2 fees. One, you pay for the program access, and then 2, you got to buy credits. And depending on how much you write, you may have to buy more credits.
That's a trend with all these writing tools. I've noticed. I've had a few, and it's like all of a sudden you write credits and they want more money.
More money. So that's something that people need to watch out for. And when you're looking at the plans and comparing them, how is their fee structure set up?
Right. So you want to kind of really go through, test different tools and find out which one does the best for you. Okay. And then invest in that one instead of a little bit here, a little bit there. I kind of sense I got like 5 of them I'm testing now.
It gets to be a little mind-boggling if you're doing too many at one time.
Yeah.
And then they're all sending you marketing messages to help you get started.
Yeah. Christy says she wants the link for
you. Well, right. I'll have to get I will get that link, and let me get over here.
So I saw the news today, the godfather of AI left Google.
Really?
He left, and he's very concerned about it. He says they need to shut it down because it can be misused.
That's not good.
I just watching an article or reading an article about it.
Well, I know that there was a number of the really, really big boys, including Elon Musk, who have signed a document saying we need to take a hiatus and put in parameters for policing.
Yeah.
That may be tough to get them to do, but what it really means is the end user has to be responsible and accountable for how it's used to make sure that it doesn't mess with somebody's reputation. And that was another thing I ran into yesterday. Did you know there's been lawsuits over defamation of character from an AI?
Oh, really?
I found 2 examples. One was, it said that the AI chatbot, and I can't remember which one it was, whether it was GPT or whichever one it was, had said that this person was involved in piracy, some sort of espionage. And actually, he was the whistleblower.
Wow.
And he has hired a lawyer, and he is suing them for defamation of character. There was another person who is a professor at one of the big universities, I think Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
And they said he had some sort of a promiscuity issue.
Hmm.
He wasn't very, and it cited an article that doesn't exist.
Mm.
So those are the kind of, you've got to take control and be careful so that you're not sharing bad information.
Yeah.
And end up with a liability suit.
Yeah. Because there's enough fake content out there that looks real,
Mm-hmm.
and people just skim it so they don't read all the details. And then, like you say, they refer to another article that really doesn't exist.
And that's what the chatbot did, was it came up with an article that doesn't exist.
Right.
So I think we have to remember they're not a sentient being. They have they don't know what morality is. They don't know what ethics are. They don't know what's good and bad.
Right.
The information's there. Here you go.
Yeah.
We have to be the one to take control of that and set the parameters to protect ourselves and our clients or somebody we'd be writing for.
Yeah. I'm doing a presentation tomorrow, and I talked about that. So it has to be corporate standards too. You can't just have everybody creating content and nobody actually checking it to make sure it's legit. Because if everybody starts pushing stuff out from companies, it's going to just open up the floodgates, and the companies will be liable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge issue.
It is. And we've got to be aware of it and make sure that what we're doing for ourselves or for another business, that we are taking those steps to make sure that it is accurate, it is presented ethically, and it's going to help their reputation, not hurt it.
Right. There's a whole new industry there just to regulate what AI should be, what you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we want to regulate everything, but you just can't, like you said, the genie's out of the bottle, and this can be really misused.
And that's too bad.
Yeah.
But for us, we just need to find the tools that will work for us most efficiently and help speed things up, which they can do that. You can generate ideas from it. And then here's a tip. If you've written something or you've created something, ask it, what's missing?
Ooh. That's a great tip.
Isn't that a great one? Because then, and a friend had that experience, and she said it came up with an idea for a sales page that she hadn't thought of.
That's where it's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's missing, and then make sure your prompts that you're sharing with to try to find an answer, are they what a person would Google for?
Mm-hmm.
So what search words would they use is where you want your content to go or your copy. So you want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. And if you're not getting the answers, go back and revisit your questions.
Yeah. Then you set that parameter how you want the person to act, or the bot to act.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was something else I wanted to be sure and share. I think the biggest thing is don't take on too many at the same time.
Guilty.
Because it will get that much harder to figure out how they work.
Right.
Because each one of them is a little bit different. If you're just getting your toes in the water, maybe start out with some time management tools.
Mm-hmm.
They have calendar, they have list makers. And one of the things I wanted to do is, some of the work I do is kind of hard on you ergonomically, like your wrists and fingers. Most phones, if you're using one of these apps, you can actually hit the microphone at the bottom and dictate right into them.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to type it all. And it will create the lists for you. And that just saves your body.
Oh, nice.
So
it's kind of like otter.ai, where you can talk to your phone, make lists, and it transcribes it for you.
I hadn't tried that with Otter. I have access to it, but I hadn't tried it for that purpose.
Yeah, the free version gives you quite a few minutes a month.
Interesting.
Yeah. I
Cool.
use it for notes as I'm walking. Now, if something comes to me, if I don't capture right away, by the time you get home, you're like, what was that idea?
What was that idea? Otter AI is one, and they have a free version. And there is something called Google Tasks. And Google Tasks will allow you to dictate in. You can even have a task and subtasks.
Hmm.
And then the other one I use all the time is Google Keep.
Hmm.
And Google Keep is a list maker.
Oh,
So you can keep your grocery list, your topics list, your all sorts of lists that you can think of, and it'll just manage them there.
oh,
And then you can actually move them over and get them on your task list. And Google Tasks takes the task function of a Google Calendar and expands on it.
okay.
And if you're using Google, then they're all free tools.
Pretty soon we can just sit here and everything will happen and we won't have to do anything.
Oh, please, let's not go there. That sounds like, what was it, 1981?
When Hal took over.
Well, yeah, there's the one when Hal took over and they had to disengage him. And there was another where, you just keep losing body parts because you quit using them.
Right.
We're going to have to take our new free time and be active.
Right. Exactly.
So
I find all this automation actually makes me busier.
figuring out how to do it, definitely.
Right. Then you get it all working, then they update something, and then you got to figure out what they changed. And yeah.
Okay. Well, as soon as we're done, I'll find that link. I have it on my profile, but I will also put it on. I can message it to you, and if you want to put it up with the posting, then
Sure.
they would like to have that link to try it.
Yeah. Here's your website too. JCP
Absolutely.
Wellness Copy.
Thank you very much.
And you have that guide. Can you
I have the
download that
guide,
from the
and I have
website?
that listed on my profile.
Okay.
It's about 38 pages. So I took some time to explore,
Yeah.
but it's designed to help people find what tools are going to work best for me.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
and that's on my
And there's
profile.
like 1,000 tools, and tomorrow there'll be 2,000 tools. And
And some of the ones we started using are no longer there.
right. Yeah.
So
No, we're at the beginning of something revolutionary, obviously, but
absolutely.
has to be used properly.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Judy. This has been great. I know we could talk in 2 weeks and have a whole nother discussion about this.
Absolutely.
I've never seen anything move this fast, and I've been in tech for over almost 40 years. So
Wow. Yeah.
So, crazy.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to talk AI, just give me a call.
Or we can talk copy. We can talk.
We can talk copy.
Cool. Well, thank you. I'll talk to you soon.